Hello, my name is Abe Zapata Jr., and I was the workshop facilitator for the 2019 East Side Queer Stories Workshop. I'm excited to be here interviewing the amazing playwright of Transformation, and I will let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is J. Daniel Cruz. My pronouns are he, him, and the play I wrote is Transformation.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and just get started. So what kind of writing have you done in the past?
I think I'm very versatile with my writing. I've done plays, I've done short stories, I've been working on a novel. So really, I'm all over the place.
No problem. A lot of writers are all over the place, especially nowadays. And before you did Transformation, had you written a play before?
Yes, I had written a couple plays before. I had written one for my college, and then I had written one a full-length play in high school for fun. Uh, they never got produced, but it was always fun to work on them, and
Oh,
create.
nice. And what was the high school play about?
The high school play was about a vengeful ghost who was after some some girls and the principal, and there were a lot of spooky things happening. And
Okay, so there's a pattern here with ghosts and devils and grim reapers, it sounds like.
I guess you could say that.
Maybe. So for Transformation specifically, what inspired you to write the piece?
Mm, well, at first, when I went into the workshop, I had no idea what I wanted to write about, and we didn't even know if we were going to have a theme or anything. And when we were told to write something for our community, uh, and then I knew there are a lot of plays about being gay, and I wanted to do something. I wanted to write something for my community, and I realized that there weren't a lot of plays dealing with being trans. So that's when I got the idea that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to write something that would honor our trans brothers and sisters.
Besides the main arc of Martin being able to be Martina by the end of the play, it also takes place during a quinceañera. And why did you decide to do that?
Growing up Mexican, we have these quinceañera parties, and they are a reaffirmation of being accepted by our community. Like whenever there's a quinceañera, like we we have the party and everything, but it's not just about the party. It's about being introduced to society as a young woman. So I wanted to I wanted to I wanted to show how, like, the sister Sophia was being introduced and accepted as a young woman, and then Martina was denied all of that. And I think having her like have a quinceañera and then have to be forced to see everything that she's denied just for being who she is, I think it would show a great impact to what they were doing to her.
Yeah, it's a lot of times queer people miss out on rites of passage just because of who they are. So I think there is a nice juxtaposition with Sophia and Martina, especially by the end of the play, where Sophia has to come to terms with the way that she's been treating her sister. So the play is dealing with some very serious and real topic about violence against trans women, but it also is a very comedic play. And so how did you balance the serious with the comedy? And why did you feel it was necessary to tell the story in this way?
I think that's oh my God, how do I phrase this? It's just part of who I am as a person, and it translates into my writing. I tend to, you know, balance humor with everything that goes in my personal life. And by adding just like this spin of like humor, everything is not as bleak and everything is not as hopeless. So in my life, I always try to put in some humor in everything I do because it just makes life worthwhile to me. So it was important for me to put in a little bit of comedy and to have like that fine that balance of having like not being a comedy where it's like a full-on comedy where it's like I'm just making fun of it because that wasn't my goal. But I wanted to put just like a pinch of comedy and have like that balance because in life for myself, I always try to put in a little comedy to make life easier. And yeah, I think I also didn't want this piece to be sad, completely sad. I wanted it to be many colors in it because, you know, I think us as gay people, like we don't have just one color, like we have so many. And I wanted it to be a little bit of everything.
Ay, ya, stop it. Ridiculous.
Ugh, the Grim Reaper called. It wants its outfit back.
You fool! I am the Grim Reaper!
Oh my God.
Jesus Maria Jose.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of times for trans representation in the media, it's either a punchline or this like sad victim story. And so we don't get that in this piece. We get Martina, who is a strong character who defends their family even when they were being mistreated by them. Did you take anything from your own personal life with the family, or is it based on somebody, or is it better to not say?
Like in everything that I write, it takes a little piece from my own experience, but it's also embroidered with like other people's experiences.
Cool. We can leave it at that. So for the listeners out there who hopefully laughed, maybe cried, I don't know, listen to this piece, what would you want them to take away from it? A lesson, a feeling,
I want
anything.
Yeah, I want them to know that there's always a chance to redeem yourself. Like I don't believe in just saying sorry. Like what is sorry going to do? I believe in taking action after saying sorry, because a sorry will be meaningless if it's not followed up by an action. I believe that people can, if they actively try to mend a wrongdoing, that it's possible that they have a chance to rectify something they when they've done something when they've done something wrong, when they've wronged someone. I think there's a chance where you can step back and say, I did something wrong. How do I make it up? How do I make this better? And sometimes you can't, but sometimes you can. Sometimes there's a chance. So I think with these characters, like I wanted them to see their ways and that they've been doing and know that it was wrong, and then say, I've been wrong, and realize it, and then say, okay, how do I make this better? How do I keep this from happening? And I think that's a message that I wanted to send out there with this piece. What's been done with our trans sisters, and it's been largely ignored. I know a lot of people want to look the other way when they hear about a trans woman being, murdered in horrible ways. And they just look the other way and say, oh, this isn't this, it's not happening if I'm not looking at it, but it is. So to everyone who's done that, you can always say that was wrong. And you can do something about it. You can say that was wrong, but from now on, I will not ignore it, or I will actively do something to help. That's what I want to do. Send with this
Nice.
piece.
And nice. And it could be as simple as watching Pose on Netflix or the documentary Disclosure on Netflix,
Yeah,
where you can just get
it can
started,
be, yeah, it can be something small, It doesn't have to be, I mean, if it is a huge thing, then well, great. But I mean, I understand that people can't do a 180, you know.
Yeah, I think just understanding other people's stories is a good beginning. And then
Yeah.
from there, take action. Any favorite lines or characters in the piece?
Mhm. All of them. I like all of them, but um, but like I think death has like a little special like nugget in my heart. There's this really great line from Death when they say, um, the trans boys and girls, the gays, the queens, you think I don't hear the cries for justice that come from beyond their grave? And I think that the line, every time that I read it, it just like it like it has this energy, and it's like a cry for action. And I think at the core, that's what I wanted to do with this piece.
And I think it's important to understand history and know where we fucked up and to fix it for our young people, especially when bills are being made against our young people for no reason besides political clout. So it is, yes. Yeah, Death is obviously the fun character, and Death is very woke. So, props to Death.
Hey, Martina,
Sophia, I appreciate what you tried to do.
I meant it. Also, I think you should have this crown instead.
Wow. It suits you, mija.
As an experience, what did you gain or learn from being a part of the ESQS workshop?
I learned to do my research. I mean, not that I wasn't doing it before, but before, like, I would try to like stay away from topics that I didn't know too well. And with the USKS workshop, like, I threw that fear away, and I just go into and do the research um, uh, more more in depth. Um, I also gain a lot of friends, and I mean, at least I like to think of them as my friends. But yeah, I got to know a lot of people, and a lot of people who I had like a lot in common too, being writers here in LA, being queer writers here in LA. So it was a really great experience for me.
It's a common theme so far amongst the writers that they made friends, queer writer friends. And so I'm always happy to hear that, because you are each other's connections. And now hopefully these stories are going to go international. So, we'll see. Due to the pandemic, we had to transition our plays from physical to audio. And one of the very last piece of theater that I saw was this play as part of the Meet Cute LA, which was also co-hosted by a friend of Q Youth Foundation, Henry Alexander Callie. Can you tell us a little bit about that project and seeing the play get put up?
It was such a great experience, to be honest. Right. I got to work with Maya, and they were so great. They made me feel very comfortable, and they worked with me throughout the piece and its delivery. And I got to work not only as a playwright, but I also got to do custom design, and I also got to do makeup. So like I felt very involved in the whole process, and everyone at Meet Cute made me feel accepted. It was so great, because like I come in like like a little rat writer, and I'm just like, oh, here's my piece, and then they just welcome me. And then Maya, they they were so great. Like that experience has it's like top of the shelf for me right now, like in my top shelf, like as far as experiences, along with USQS, because they were just so nice to me.
Nice, yeah. And Maya is a wonderful director. They also directed my play, Borracho, Spanish for Drunken Bum. So shout out to Maya if you're listening.
Hi, I'm Ana Bernal, Executive Director and founder of Q Youth Foundation. I wanted to give a special thanks to our listeners worldwide. And if you have enjoyed our ESQS series, please consider making a donation to Q Youth. We are a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to building creative and brave spaces for the LGBTQIA+ community. Check out our website at www.qyouthfoundation.org to learn more about us and donate to support our programming. Thank you.
Are you working on any other projects at the moment?
I am. I've been working on this novel, but that's probably like still like on the long run. But like with the pandemic and being in lockdown, I worked a great deal of it. So maybe by next year it'll be done. Other than that, I also been working on a poetry sign that I'm gonna be self-publishing soon. So it's called A Path of Roses and Thorns, Volume 1. And so yeah, those are my little two projects that I'm working on as of right now.
And what is the novel going to be about?
The novel is it's about being a queer immigrant, and like all the journey from coming into this country, and then having to deal with a lot of issues from religion to race to belonging, and of course with being gay and accepting yourself. So like it's a roller coaster too.
You're gay? I'm just kidding. And for those out there listening, where can people follow you?
I am at on Instagram as j.daniel.cruz. That's Cruz like Penelope Cruz, not like Tom Cruise. But she's my cousin, by the way. I'm just kidding.
Your Spanish cousin.
But yeah, I'm there, and I'm always active, even though I go missing for like days, but I still get back to everyone eventually. So yeah, you guys can find me there on Amazon. There's a bit of my work there as well on Amazon Kindle. A few of my short stories. If you guys want to check them out. Every year I do a free download period. So if you follow me on Instagram, I usually let everyone know, because I don't like Amazon, but like it's it's a good way to get distributed. So like I don't want Jeff Bezos to get my money. So like I just have the period where like download it for free. You don't have to pay for it, and then just read it.
Nice. Any final words for everybody out there?
Any what?
Any final words?
Oh, final words. Thank you for listening to me ramble, and thank you for following me. And really thank you, because if you guys weren't listening to me, then I would just be talking to myself.
Awesome. So thank you for joining us at Eastside Queer Stories.
No, thank you.
I was talking to the listeners.
Oh, what? Sorry, I was being selfish.
Thank you, Jesus Daniel Cruz or J. Oh yeah, when they look for your stories on Amazon, is it under J. Daniel Cruz, or is it going to be Jesus Daniel Cruz?
J. Daniel Cruz. But if you look at me, if you look for me as Jesus Daniel Cruz, I will also show up because I am listed also as editor of my own work, because I gotta hustle, I gotta do it all, because who will?
Exactly. That's queer artists. We are our own publishers, producers, writers, editors, makeup, costume. That is our job. So thank you, Jesus Daniel Cruz, for being here today. So that thank you is for you.
Thank you.
And for the listeners out there, thank you for joining us for Eastside Queer Stories. And make sure to follow J. Daniel Cruz at J.Daniel Cruz on Instagram. You can also find him on Amazon. And make sure to subscribe and share on all social media platforms the amazing interview and play that you got to hear here as a radio play. Yeah, we're excited. So I guess now we just say goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.